thank you very much for having me. I want to talk with you about people. We were talking a lot about data today, and we were talking about users, but what we often forget is that users are human beings and people whom we deal with and who make our business running or even not running. So let's talk about people, and I selected one instance of people for the beginning, which is me. As mentioned, I'm now for at least 26 years in the same company doing e-commerce for TUI with the first website. I have a background as a computer scientist, and what I forgot and what will I come back to later is my glasses. So excuse me, please. Have you ever talked about accessibility? You should, if people are able to read what is written on a very small monitor. So I love hiking. I did a lot of jobs at TUI as a product owner, as a data analyst, and now I'm ended up doing conversion optimization and user research, dealing with people, so I made my way to the light side of the business. For those of you, anyone here who has made holidays with Robinson already? I do need the bigger glasses, right? So at least one. Thank you very much. We are Germany's premium club resort holiday brand, and we operate 26 clubs in 15 countries today, offering fantastic accommodation, fantastic food, fantastic drinks, and if you offer a lot of food, you should also offer a lot of sports activities where we provide 64, where you can do at least nearly everything. So, we were talking a lot about quantitative data, but there's so much more. Quantitative data is extremely important if we are talking about the analysis of experiments, of user behavior, of online advertising, and so on. But there's a little bit more which is called qualitative data about users. And users are human beings. And it allows us to improve the user experience much more if we know the people we are dealing with. So let's explore why this happens. As the title of the presentation says, I'm talking about the 5 main stages where we should remove gut feeling while doing experimentation. So just to create a common sense of what I'm meaning, I'm talking about the identify stage. Where should we act? Where's something going probably wrong? How can we deal with this problem? Putting this into action by doing experimentation, analyze the experiment at least at the end, even better if we are still watching the numbers while the experiments are running. And if we decide to deploy our new solution to production, we should supervise what is going to happen. This is not linear at all, so it's possible that we jump from one stage to another if we, for example, identify that our variants are not working very well. How can quantitative data support us while doing so? While identify, we can look for anomalies, so I'm German, excuse me, in our metrics. While we ideate, we can define which metrics we want to improve by the variants we are developing. And while acting and while analyzing, we see how well our variants are performing while the test is running and afterwards. And supervising afterwards can confirm us that our new solution is working very well. All of these points tell us what is happening. And if we have a good hypothesis in the beginning, we can deduct if it's possibly based on our assumption. We do A. If we change A to B, people will behave differently because of, which is an assumption in the beginning. So, but it's also true, it's not telling us why. And what happens if we don't have any information about why something is happening? We tend to interpret the data by ourselves, which is okay. It's a free country. We have free speech, free opinions. Everyone is allowed to build his own opinion. But as I think Marianne said it today, she's up there, we get victim, or if we rely on gut feeling by interpretation, we may fall victim to different actors. Like, how is the mood I'm in today? And if I rely on my gut feeling, what did I have for lunch? Probably. We tend to serve our managers by serving a hippo. So we tell him what he likes to hear. Managers like to be pleased by their employees, as far as I know. It depends on my prior experiences. It depends on blind spots I have, probably on missing data. A lot of things I don't know, and probably the most dangerous, as mentioned, confirmation bias combined with data torturing. If I torture my data long enough, they will confess to everything. And if I find a segment, and let's say that's a one-eyed pirate who converts on Monday evenings with a parrot on his shoulder, I have a significant result. But this will not serve our business. Gut feelings are not more or less than felt facts and really partly random in nature. And I don't want to base my experimentation program on coincidences, beliefs, wishful thinking, hopes. And I suppose, and I know my managers don't want their business to be based on coincidences. And there's one very intelligent person who put it together in a few words. We may trust in God if we are believers, but all others, please provide data. Otherwise, I will not believe you. And without data, I'm not more than just another person who has an opinion. And even so-called expertise, I consider to be an opinion as long as it is not proved by data. So I was talking about my job, and now let's see what I had to learn the hard way. So up to 2015, to be honest, when I joined the team who's responsible for conversion rate optimization, I have never heard of A/B testing. I have never heard, please excuse me, of a tool called Optimizely. So I prepared for my job, got a free trial period with Optimizely, and understood, okay, that makes sense. I worked as a developer before with a data attitude, collected a lot of data to see if my ideas worked, and I had to discover that at least I liked my ideas, but the employees in the travel agencies didn't like them at all. So I had to remove them. So I joined the team. There's software available. I did all which you do. You learn your tool, you invest time in understanding statistics, you develop tests, and much more. And the really unsatisfactory experience was no significant results. Inconclusive. So I stood there. I thought I had the ideas which would really move our business. But the users, they were not interested in what I was trying to achieve. So when analyzing A/B tests, we rely on data. And there were two guys who inspired me to remove some of this gut feeling by relying on more data. This is one guy from Optimizely who said, and the first part is so important, serve your customers' needs. And if I want to serve my customers' needs, I should know what these needs are. And I should not try to serve my own ambitions, to say, take a look at me, I'm the best conversion optimizer you've ever seen. That doesn't make sense. You need a certain sense of humility when dealing with A/B testing and trying to improve your business. The other one is a guy who's able to sell a cup of coffee for 8 euros. And if he's able to do that, his quote regarding consumer feedback as a business driver should really be true. So, serve your customers' needs, utilize consumer feedback to supercharge your experimentation program with qualitative data. And I was talking about 5 stages, so let's have a look at the first 2 ones, ideate and identify. And the question is, how can you get qualitative data? There are several ways possible. You can do observations, which is like observing people using, let's say, your website, which is quite scary in our setting, because you cannot go to someone looking over his shoulder while he is using your app. You should ask him before. So that's more or less useful for physical products. You can do interviews with your customers. I did it a lot. And to be fair, I have an advantage. If I want to talk to customers, I know exactly where they are. They are in our hotels, and everyone who's there is a potential interview partner. And by interviewing them, by understanding their needs, their fears, their feelings, their attitude toward your product, you will understand a lot. But it takes time. The average length of interviews I did with people on their holidays was about an hour. And believe it or not, I was thinking, I'd really be happy if I have about 4 or 5 people a day. A few in the morning, a few in the evening, but who the hell will do an interview with me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon while there's a sea outside, a beach, the sun is shining? Nobody. But in the end, I had to curate a waiting list for people who wanted to give an interview, who wanted to give feedback, and who wanted to help us to make their holiday experience and the website experience as well better. If you want a larger amount of feedback, you can use online surveys. There are several tools like, I don't want to make any advertisement, Usabilla, Qualtrics, and SurveyMonkey, and whatever, a lot of tools. And my favorite way of getting feedback is user testing, which means watching people doing tasks on your website while speaking out loud what they think, what they understand, what they don't understand. This is really the best thing. The thing I would really recommend to do. What we get by this is we understand pain points, frustrations, confusion, feelings, thoughts, struggles, shortcomings, and so on. And we can turn the knowledge about these problems into a better context, a better understanding what a user needs, into better hypotheses, better A/B tests, better variants, and therefore a higher significance or a higher probability of getting significant results. So now you may say, okay, are you serious? Do you want me to analyze 100 one-hour feedbacks on my own? How the hell should I do it? This is a lot of work, and it's impossible. It's a lot of work, that's right. It's worth the time investing, and it's not as complicated as you may think. And here's an overview. Just take your notes structured, factual statements, observations, quotes. What I really recommend is get quotes of your customers. It's one thing if I say, let's say to an audience, a customer told me that he didn't like whatever, or if you can hear the voice of a real customer saying exactly that. If you have all these structured notes, try to build clusters and identify themes, general problems people have, more or less specific. If you have the themes, you can generate insights, and based on that insights, you can take action and start testing. Theory. Let's put it into practice with an example. So I asked people on their holidays, please book a holiday for your family in the next year. I took all my notes and identified themes. And one theme was, and this is quite small, users do not know and infer from the absence of family rooms in a specific resort while they're seeing an offer list that there are no family rooms available. So they switched the resort or stopped searching and booking. The insight that was gained by this is that we have to enable users to understand which rooms are generally available. On each stage, without switching to a product detail page, for example. And the action was testing, so we developed variants to see if it works or not. So, to put it short, and to give you a picture, you see a list of possible flights, of possible rooms, to create, and possible dates, to create your specific offer. And now you see, okay, during your period of time, these rooms are not available. So we present something we cannot sell. Who thinks this made a significant downcast regarding our key metrics of booking? Just raise your hand. A few ones, probably. I don't know. So at least one. Who thinks it hasn't made any difference? So it was inconclusive. Okay. And who thinks it made a positive difference? A few more. Okay. So I will come back to it later. So let's get to the next stage, which is remove gut feeling from the act and analyze stages at that point. It's quite easy to collect feedback. You may test A/B test variants in moderated user testing, but what you can do is you can grab data from online surveys. So if a process is completed, probably not before, or if someone signals an exit intent, just ask him, how did you like the process you experienced just before? And based on the combination of the qualitative feedback with your A/B test variant, you can deduct new information, which allows you to improve your variance. Don't stop. Even if it's positive, significant, there's always space for improvements. And you can get better regarding the overall test. So one main question is always, okay, I have a problem. I know where it is. How do I come up with ideas? So I need ideas to do A/B testing, at least one, but the more the better. Use a dedicated format. So it doesn't make sense to put 5 people in a room, say, okay, I lock the door until we have 5 ideas. Otherwise, the door will be closed. Use a format which acts on data, qualitative and quantitative, from your funnel analysis, for example. And we did it with Optimize the first 1 or 2 times, and now do it on our own within a team. And the team should be diverse. Different people, different perspectives, different ideas, different mutual let's say, triggering. And we implemented it within TUI. It's a larger group, so we have different companies. And we did it on a quarterly basis before Corona, and we are trying to revive it by now. As said before, don't get stuck with your first idea of improvement. Test more than one idea, because if you only take the first one, it's usually a safe one. You don't want to take too many risks, just little changes on your website. But if you take risk, and if you dare a little bit more, the probability that your users will recognize the change is higher, and the probability of a higher uplift or downcast, who knows, is also given. Just to give you an idea, a few years ago, I went to my manager and said, we have a three-step checkout. Let's improve it to 9. 9 is better than 3, at least in football. But he said, are you crazy? That doesn't make any sense. So everyone says a maximum of 3 steps, don't use more. And I said, okay, I have an idea. If we increase the number of steps, the information on each step is less. And there's less information which has to be consumed and understood by a user. So by this, we have an opportunity to make the process easier to understand in general, and it generated an uplift in conversion rate by 9%. And talking to other people from the conversion business, this is not Robinson specific, it happened in other businesses as well. Okay, so that's an idea. That's a way to come to ideas, but qualitative data can do even more for you. It helps you prioritize. If you know what is important to your users, it should reflect, it should be seen in your roadmap as well. If it's not important for your users, why do you do it? It helps with personalization. You can personalize probably everything, but you should do it where a user is expecting it and where it provides any additional value for him. By this, you improve your UX in general, and user feedback is also, or qualitative feedback is also a good source for innovation if you see your website and your product through the eyes of your customers. That's theory. So you're probably interested in some numbers and some experiment results. So let's have a look at them. And not to start with a number, but with something that really happened is, I asked my colleagues, what do you think our users want to do on our website? And they said, they want offers and they want to book. I said, okay. By coincidence, a few weeks later, there was a larger TUI event with lots of people from the tourism industry, from travel agencies, and I asked them also, so what do you think? What do users want to do on a website? And they said, they want offers, they want bookings, and they want information. So there were a lot of people from travel agencies who know, it's probably like with doctors, that people come to their office with this smart face and saying, I read it on the internet. So they know people are doing research regarding holiday on the internet, getting information, coming to the office. So their image of the customer was a little bit broader than ours. And then we were doing a proof as a feedback tool. And we said, okay, every new customer on our website, first page view, let's present one of these funny pop-ups. What the hell do you want here? Providing something like, I'm looking for offers, I want to book my next holiday, but I think it was about 20% set, and we didn't have that in mind. I said, I have already booked my holiday. I want information on what can I do in my destination, is there anything I should know in advance? And with Robinson, it's a little bit interesting because, just an anecdote, once a week, there's a so-called gala dinner with fantastic food, fantastic drinks, fireworks, a fantastic show, and with a dress code. You don't have to follow the dress code, but it's usually something like, please wear blue and white, let's say in Greece, or red and black, or whatever. And a lot of customers are really interested in knowing that in advance to have the right clothing within their luggage. So, interesting result. We are working on it, and we'll see what it will turn out. And then we had another survey, also running on the website, where you configure your offer. And we asked people who exited in that stage, oh, come on. So you've just configured a complete offer. Why are you not booking it? And we provided some options. And the main reason was, and I should know it, everybody of you should know it, what is the main reason, but we didn't have it in mind because we are using, when testing our website, it always in a complete flow. Homepage, offer list, offer, booking, confirmation, and so on. And they said, I have to talk to my employer. I have to talk to my wife if she wants that holiday. I have to see if I get holidays. I probably have to check my bank account. And so we added this element, the slower one where it says Club Fuerteventura. And it's not Robinson, that's Magic Life, which is quite common by now. But we could prove an uplift by 11% on macro conversion rate. And now I was talking about the family rooms, if you remember. And we did an experiment as well, just one variant, showing rooms which are not bookable. And that led to an additional turnover during the test, not afterwards, only during test running time of 2.5 million euros. Just by a small sentence where someone says, okay, there are no family rooms available in this club. That was a real golden nugget, and it's worth listening to your customers. The good thing is technology changes fast, people don't, and mankind don't. Our fears, ideas, and attitudes remain more or less stable, at least during our lifetime. So the next guy isn't known as an e-commerce visionary, but in 1500 somewhat, he said, we must obey the forces we wish to command. We have to listen to our customers if we want them to do what we like them to do. And one for last, probably, I like this quote as well from Kate Zabriskie, who said, the customer's perception is our reality. Our business or our reality is defined by the people who see it, who interact with us. And so we have to take care of our customers, or like Carl Willis said a few months ago, if we don't care about our customers, why should our customers care about us? That's it. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I can take my glasses off now.
They still look really good on you, though.
No, it's really interesting to see that after hearing about so many technical nitty-gritty details today, it's actually about people.
Yes, so, users are humans.
Really interesting, thank you. Do I have questions in the audience? There's one.
And where's the mic over there?
Jana? Can you?
Third row. Can you raise your hand again, please?
I wanted to ask about this questionnaire that you mentioned. This question that you were raising when a user was entering the website. Can you share with us how many users were answering at all the question? Because was it possible to skip it?
Yes, it was possible. I'm sure I have the numbers, but to be honest, I don't
to get a feeling, because I can explain to you why I asked.
We were always happy with a participation rate of about 10%. So it must be about between, let's say, 7 and 12. I'm not quite sure by now. But we made sure that every user only sees it once for at least 1 year. And it was stopped during that time. And we didn't get any feedback expressing that people were annoyed by that pop-up. It was a very small one, and not on mobile, only desktop.
Thank you.
Any other questions? There's one.
We're waiting for the microphone. This optimization on the website once the users are there. I'm thinking about how much marketing budget do you have to spend to get a 2.5 million more return?
I can tell you, but I won't.
Robinson, thank you.
It will be a follow-up question to the first one. Why didn't you test it on mobile? Were you scared of the results, or you think that your customer group is not booking in general of a
Yes, so we didn't that on mobile because it would be annoying. And I mentioned the interviews I did. And there was one interesting thing, because everyone says, okay, mobile share is increasing. We have to take care of mobile users. And I was asking every of the participants, would you book your holiday on mobile? And about 80% said, not at all. I wouldn't do it. It costs a lot of money. It's too tiny. I can't read everything. I really have the fear that I would miss out some important information. I can't print out the confirmation. And I was talking about quotes from customers. One quote I already have in mind is that someone said, listen, to be honest, I don't book my family holiday so spontaneously that I have to do it sitting on the lawn in a public garden. So I can do it at home. So we know people are doing research on mobile, like getting information about hotels, but they switch to, I always say a real computer, but like a desktop or laptop, if they want to do their booking to get it finalized. Because there are so many tiny informations about how can you cancel it, until when is it cancelable, is something missing. So they really, I don't think they are scared to do it, but it's a difference if you spend €6 on headache pills, or if you spend 6,000 euros on a vacation. You don't want to make any mistakes. And if you make a mistake, what's the problem in Germany? You made the mistakes, not the guy in the travel agency. You are responsible. And maybe to sum it up, when people ask me what is so specific about our product is, besides all attributes, if you book your holiday, you pay with 3 currencies. One is obvious. This is euros. The second currency is the holiday you get from your employer. If your holiday is bad, you don't get back 10 days because your employer says, oh, I'm sorry, so try it again. And the last one is family happiness. I don't want to be responsible for a horrible holiday and having my girlfriend next to me for 14 days complaining all day. So you always need someone, you want to be sure that everything works fine.